What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. There I am. Woohoo! Let's do some changes around here before we get into it. Happy Monday. I hope everybody's having a lovely Monday. Um, what's my Monday like? It's a little rainy over there. Hey Shayna, what's happening, girl? I was just watching your Huntsville review, girl. Entertained and all. Car Chronicles. Go check out Shayna with her Car Chronicles because she was over there breaking down the Love and Marriage Huntsville shenanigans that they had going on. How was your Monday, Shayna? Like I said, my Monday is rainy, but I'm here with you guys to talk about these people over here ready to love. It is season 10. This is it episode 10? It's episode 9 or 10, child. I think look over there on the own situation. They'll tell you what episode this is. Anyway, and I do know it's part 2 of this getaway, this waste of time getaway that we had over here. Because I feel like we went over here. Tommy sent y'all over here to solidify your connections. And I feel like we walked away pretty much the same way we started before we got over here. We know that they guys had to pick their bottom 2 ladies to figure out, chop down some of these people that are no longer connections, never was connections, didn't connect, don't really even like each other as far as I could tell, some of them. Cam and Angie, they have a chat. Cam and Angie have a chat, and I'm gonna tell you, I really hate how these women are waiting to be chosen. Hey, Kiwan, you ready for the show to go off? Which one, Huntsville or Ready to Love? Shayna said, I took off and still have to work all day. I don't know how y'all do it. I have, fortunate a schedule that allows me, to be a little flexible because it's not easy. I don't know, like for y'all that are just listening and enjoying the entertainment, we're very grateful for that, but at the end of the day, and nobody asked us to do it, but it's, I do it because it's fun. I didn't know that this would be a lane that I would find myself in, but, when you work a real job and then you got to watch the show and take notes. Some shows I watch like BMF. I just watch Shayna's review because some shows I just like to watch it and enjoy it and not have to review it. But we over here to talk about, these singles over here in Philly. Yes, let's like the video, subscribe to the channel, and do all the things. So yeah, it just annoys me how these men are doing virtually nothing. These women are required to jump through hoops in order to be chosen. Cam has the ever-loving audacity to be having 3 options over here at the getaway where you're supposed to be building a connection with the person that you've chosen. I mean, it's one thing, like, I'm not gonna lie, we enjoy a little mess, but come on, 3 options is silly, especially when you ain't really feeling any of them. Anyway, he's sitting here trying to get Angie to open up. For what? You want her to open up to you. And this is the game Cam has been playing. I said he's not, what did I say? Shit. I know what I said. I just have to remember what I said. He's not playing games, but he's playing the game. I feel like he is not leading Angie to anywhere that she didn't want to be led to. However, he's over here trying to manipulate emotions and unnecessarily because I don't know what Angie is over here feeling either. Can you imagine being in a house where you're like, I like Cam, I like Hussein, I can't tell which one I want to be with. I just don't believe it. I'm not buying it. If at this point you should already be connected. So he wants her to open up and to say what? To convince him of what? Because you're already over here, Cam, thinking that the moment the lady gets mad, she's going to bust the windows out of your car. And Angie, you didn't say that that's not where you are. You said, just don't piss me off that much. Don't make me that mad that I need to bust the windows out of your car. I feel like getting that angry, and listen, I'm a self-proclaimed pop-off. But you got to really push me. I'm not the person that just walks around popping off, but you got to push me and push me and push me and push me into a point where I explode. I'm not finna explode and bust the windows out your car at my big old age. You know what I'm saying? I might break a glass or, slap a plant across the floor, depending on how much that heat is building up within me. But I feel like it's not a good feeling to get that worked up. And I feel like Angie and whoever else, gets worked up like that, you need to figure out how to temper and redirect your energy, because anybody that's not doing you right, it doesn't deserve that much energy from you anyway. It just ends up with you being all out of control, busting windows out your car. Now you under arrest, and this nigga's over here trying to decide which two women that he wants to be with because you're not there anymore. Angie needs to grow up. I agree. But she's the baby of 11. So, I mean, she's the baby of 11. She's been getting treated and allowed to do. You know how it is with the baby of the family. I happen to be the baby of the family. And my siblings were much older. They were already grown when I was born. So, you're born with an audience of everybody that thinks you're so cute, and everything you do is so cute, and then you get older and it ain't so cute no more. So it's probably taken Angie a long time to grow up because she's got a lot of people that came before her. At any rate, I don't think Cam is worth the pop off. I don't know why he's over here trying to figure out just how far he could push a person before they need to bust the windows out your car. But, that's neither here nor there. I feel like, if I were him, I would be concerned as well. He's still interviewing his options. So Angie, please don't give him too much energy because it ain't worth your time. Cam is sitting there acting all fake and concerned. What's on your mind? Talk to me. Come on, sit next to Cam. Lean your head on my shoulder. Open up. Ciao. Cam, you're not supposed to be juggling options. You're supposed to be exploring the person that you're connected with, and I don't think you know who exactly that is. And if you're so spread around, you're never going to be able to focus. You're never going to be able to focus on the person that, you're supposed to be giving your energy to, because you're still passing it around, which makes me feel like you're not serious. Cam and Hussein are kind of doing the exact same thing, except for Hussein is so quiet in nature and he's so sweet, and so it doesn't come across like the same thing. Cam is just a little arrogant and, in the competition. I feel like he's competing more with Hussein than he is worried about connecting with any of these women. Even though Angie might get angry enough to bust the windows out your car, she's still ready to love. So we're going to keep her around. And they walked away from this conversation actually unsettled and unresolved. They still in the same place they was when, he found out she may just, go bonsai on his ass. Kiera and Jay are the only connections. And I'm starting to wonder about that too, because we're finding out their communication is not that great, Kiera and Jay. Khalil and Deanna, they have a little sit down. Khalil said she has walls up and he can't figure her out. And Deanna said these people ain't on her level anyway. And she said their connection is new. And I'm like, well, who in the world you been talking to from the beginning to now? Because don't say Eddie. Eddie was over there with Angie. So, I mean, I'm guessing I don't think Deanna was talking to any of these people, to be honest. I think she was just hanging out whenever they asked her to come hang out, if she had time to do it. I don't know what Khalil has been doing either. I'm going to go ahead and say that Khalil, even though he's probably the best candidate in terms of, a single, he probably isn't that connected to anyone over here, and I don't even want to say he didn't put in effort, because I feel like he did. I don't, like I said, know what was going on behind the scenes. I agree, Kiwan. They fumbled the ball with Khalil. I don't know what these ladies were focused on, but you got a fine man with decent conversation. I would like to have heard more. He seems very pleasant. He gets along with everyone. Even like with Jay, he, was giving sound advice instead of saying something stupid. He told him, if you really like the girl, you probably shouldn't be rubbing all up on a different girl in front of her face. So I don't know what it is that they're looking at. I'm gonna put that on us as women. Sometimes we be paying attention to the wrong thing, and it shows over here. Do I like Khalil's hair? Um, Not like this. I'm gonna go ahead and say that because for me, this felt like I don't know. I feel like I used to wear my hair like that when I was 7. All he needs is some of them little balls to put on there, and I get like twisting the dreads up and things, but I don't know about that one, Khalil. Like you fine, but them ponytails was distracting for me. What about y'all? Did y'all like his hair like that? And I would prefer, Khalil. I'm sure you're very busy, but it don't take that long to get an edge up. When you got your hair like short like that, and you got to keep the edge up. We over here on TV. At this point, like you should be able to run through your barber once a week or every other week or so. You don't like the half fade, half locks. I don't know. Sometimes it looks really good when he pulls it up in a ponytail. I feel like it's because he doesn't keep it shaped up that much. You know what I'm saying? He shows up over here a lot of the time with fuzzy hair and, a ponytail. So I feel like if he was more, him and his barber need to work something out. Just bald it off, and then you can have more time between, shape ups and things. Anyway, we've been sitting here talking about Khalil's hair, but I don't understand really like what these people, were missing. So anyway, Deanna said at this moment she only feeling friend vibes, and so basically she's not ready to love. Sometimes you get over here and you feel like, should I say that or should I not say that? And I feel like a lot of the times, if you're thinking, should I say that or should I not say that, you probably should not say that, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because that's just the kind of things you do when you're the baby of the family. You do things anyway and then hope for the best results. I feel like Deanna likes a light skinned man with wavy hair. She has a preference. A lot of times the men have a preference. And I think even though she thinks that Khalil has all these assets, I feel like she probably, her preference is a light-skinned man with wavy hair. We still talking about his hair too far back at the top. I mean, he could cut it all off. I feel like he's, dedicated to the dreads, and I get that when you put that much time into growing your hair, but I feel like hair or no hair, this is a fine man, like I said, and they all, like Kiwan said, slipped on it. They was over here focused on other things because I feel like at his point, like he's at a point where he's actually looking for somebody for real. He said that from the very beginning. He said for marriage. He's looking for all the things, Tay, that you said you wanted in the beginning, but clearly we, have been misled. Speaking of, after they sent Deanna home, what's her name? Sahara said they was kind of down, so they decided to play a drinking game. They seemed bored. I don't know. It wasn't a whole lot of fun. They was taking shots and, having, I guess, a decent time. And apparently, however Khalil was answering these questions was very appealing to Tay. She said, he just presents like he's got himself together. They have a mutual interest in each other. She said that she feels like this man is stable and, like I said, has his thing together. I'm not sure what type of conversation they were having. I also feel like this girl Tay has been tunnel vision from the very beginning. And she wasted his time, regardless to what she says, and we'll get to it because she feels like he wasted hers. I think she wasted his, and maybe he, was focused on, I don't know what he was focused on. I feel like sometimes they are are so worried about their bros and who they're talking to instead of focusing on, sorry, dude, like, I think you're nice and all, but I feel like I might like this young lady too. I don't know who I would have put Khalil here with besides Tay. And now that I see, how her brain works, I feel like he deserves better than all of this over here. Anyway, where was I at? They discussed their children timeline. This had me so irritated. They discussed their children timeline. Khalil said he's looking for marrying someone and spending time traveling with that person, and then within 4 to 5 years, then he'll be ready to have children. And Tay is upset because she said, her timeline is 2 to 3 years. And I'm like, 2 to 3 years, Tay, does that mean like you're looking to be a baby mom? 2 years, you don't even have a man. So how long are you going to be with this person, that you haven't met yet, allegedly, unless it's, Cisco over here, but 2 to 3 years, 4 years, I feel like you probably were looking to just let go of Khalil and you needed a real reason to do it. It's something that made you try to make you make sense. I don't know. Take out on my nerves being fake mad. She was definitely fake mad. And I was like, for freaking what? Like I said, when you meet someone and you're talking about having children, don't you need at least a year or two to decide if you want to be, that committed to a person? So 2 years and then boom, 3 years. And then y'all are, unless, like I said, you don't mind being a baby mama, like you could go out and get pregnant tomorrow, I suppose. But I think she's just looking for a reason to choose Cisco because there is no reason for you to choose him. And we're not going to be at this big old age picking people because they're handsome. Honestly, is what the more I've seen of Cisco, honestly, I feel like he ain't as handsome as he was when he first started, when he first got over here. I'm not taking away from, his physicality, but I feel like when you look at a person and, how handsome or beautiful they are, it has a lot more to do with the person that they are, but eyes of the beholder, child. What they're given from inside definitely makes them seem more attractive to me. I'm not that person to be like, oh God, he's cute. He's 6'5", and I think I want to have his baby tomorrow. Tay. I'm sure Cisco is more than willing, though, to knock her up, drive her car, stay in her crib, and call her things ours. He'll be in our house, our dishes, our furniture that he didn't purchase any of. He'd probably be expecting her to come home from her job that pays all the bills and still do wifey stuff like, cook him dinner and do his laundry. She said, I don't really want to have my first child at 40 when I could have it now. Word? With who? Cisco? Go for it, I suppose. She said he wasted her time. What exactly, like, how long has it been? He said himself, like, I felt like, we're checking the connection and see what it is. And then, if it's something, this is something that he decided to bring up now. Now is a good time to do it because Tommy told him to come over here and do it. And that's what he's doing. And if you want to, like, graffle between 3 and 4 years, you sound a fool, girl. That don't even make sense. All he's saying is he doesn't want to jump into a relationship and pop out babies. Good grief. You shouldn't want to either. The way marriages last, just give it a second. Her mind was already made up about what she wanted to do. So I don't feel like there's anything he could have said that was going to change her mind. It's better than staying in a Motel 6. I suppose. I don't know what motel he stay at. He said a room, but wherever he go, he got an Uber or, take the bus over there. Jay and Kiera. Jay sits down with Kiera because she's still mad. He apologized for the optics. I feel like this is where their communication breakdown is happening. Jay, is not just the optics. It's the fact that if you were connected with someone else, you should have told her that, and you weren't. So if you're not, then why would you risk it all? You could have sat there and easily had a conversation with Sahara without all the antics. You know what I'm saying? But you rolled right into it because you're touchy feely with your friends. Booty smacks, come on. And I don't even know if she's seen that. I'm just saying. So he's trying to act like, I'm sorry that, I did it in a way that, made you feel uncomfortable. And I also feel like, Kira, come on, you're doing a lot. If it's just one word, is it just that word connection that's bothering you? Because he's supposed to be exploring. Would you be exploring if you had somebody over here to explore it? It feels like Kiera doesn't have somebody to explore, so she expected that Jay would not do that either. And I think Jay didn't expect to do it, but if you're that easily tempted, Jay, then maybe you should, reevaluate that. Why is it that you went over there? Like I said, you could have had a conversation. Y'all could have laughed and talked. All she was trying to do was make Cam uncomfortable, which it worked, by the way. But, you got caught up in the web, and now you over here talking about sorry, I didn't mean it. You did mean it. I feel like you did. He said they was just being friendly. I mean, that was more than friendly to me. And then when she walked by and gave you the death glare, you should have known then that you should probably get your ass up off that couch, but you wanted to sit around tibbling and bibbling still. I wonder how Jay would feel if the tables were turned. Jay, how would you feel if you walked by and somebody, one of these guys, Khalil ain't really got nothing to do right now. What if you walked by and saw Kiera canoodled up with Khalil, who's very high potential over here? Would you feel the same if he was over there like massaging her shoulders and smacking her on the booty? What would you be saying? And she'd be like, it was just me. I'm just touching with all my friends. I feel like Jay is acting up too. So he's not that stupid. He knows exactly what he was over there doing. He played in her face to see how far he could push it. Kiera is catching a lot of flack for being immature. And I guess she is a little. I don't know. I guess I don't know what the understanding was before they got over there. I do know I heard her give him a whole speech before they got out that Sprinter bus travel. They're over the trip over there. He got the speech. He understood it. He nodded yes. In that moment, if he was still exploring, he should have said, well, I mean, the point of this whole experiment is for me to make sure and explore all my options. So although I hear what you're saying, I want to take this opportunity to make sure this is what I really want to do. He didn't say that. He nodded like a good boy. Yes, ma'am. When I get over here, I'm going to act accordingly. And then he went right in that house and forgot everything that was said. And, I feel like he's not stupid and he didn't forget. Let's talk about that. You didn't like that that she said he didn't check Sahara. Kiera, let's be clear. This didn't have nothing to do with Sahara. Sahara was doing exactly what she was supposed to be doing. And this whole call her over here, I don't like it. I don't like it at all because the only reason to call her over there is to be disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? There's no nice reason. You was specifically trying to hurt her feelings? She handled it like a champ, but at the end of the day, I don't see any reason to be calling her over there. It was just like to be mean. What was it that you needed to hear him say to her? He wasn't saying I need you to say it to her face that you're not a connection. I don't know. I feel like it doesn't really matter whether her and Jay were cool or connected or whatever it was. Jay's response was weak as hell. He handled that horribly because if she's cool and all those things that you said she was, Jay, then you should have said that. You should have said, we're not romantically connected. However, I like her. I think she's cool. Say that. That's a connection. Friendship is a connection. You don't know whether this girl is gonna be your forever ever. When her baby daddy come home, let's see, how he touching and feeling on things. I'm just saying. I feel like Sahara is confused. She's like, what did y'all call me out here for now? Kiara's like, do y'all have a connection? She's like, yeah, like, we've been talking or whatever. He said, I ain't never text you and called you bae. But you were texting. So there was some type of communication between Sahara and Jay that was enough to feel like a connection. He just doesn't want to say it. I just think that I didn't like the way he handled that. I thought it was super weak. um Sahara wasn't about to sit there and let them, play in her face. So she was like, y'all can have it. Like, I don't know what this is supposed to be. He, kept saying that stupid stuff. And then Kiera says she didn't like, what did she say? She didn't like that he didn't check her. And I was like, check her about what? She absolutely didn't come over there and say they all had this very romantic connection. She didn't say that. She said exactly what it was. And I don't know why, he didn't feel like he, I don't know, could be man enough to say what it was too. What was you doing over there on the sofa then, Jay? Playing in everybody's face? Seemed like it. I don't know what was supposed to make her feel better. At the end of the day, Kiera, what did you want her to do? Cry? Did you want her to sit there and cry and be like, I told you he was my man, my man, my man. Like, that part right there really had me annoyed. It just made me see Kiera different, because I don't like these meet up the girlfriend for lunch and all of that kind of stuff. Either the dude is doing what he's supposed to be doing or not. I don't feel like you need to meet up with the side chick or the other connection. This is a dating show. People are connected. Ask Cam. He's connected everywhere, all over the house. Jay has been connected to Kiera from day one. So I don't know why she was acting so insecure. Should she have checked him about the visual, the optics of it all? Absolutely. You're not going to be over here doing all that with some other girl. If that's how you feel, then be over there. But, the rest of it, this whole call Sahara over there for what? Well, I don't even know why. Like I said, what was it going to take to make you feel better? At the end of the day, you didn't. She got up and walked away. So I was like, girl, leave the whole man behind. Well, I think a lot of hunching been going on. But, at this, adult age, she's in her 30s. They're in their 30s. I'm sure she knows at this point in her life that just because she hunched the man, don't mean he's hers. So y'all gonna have to quit giving up the coochie. If you want some cucumber, then go get it. Eggplant, whatever the fruit and vegetables and things that you're using over here to describe your anatomy. I'm trying to be good on YouTube. So, if you want to go get some eggplant, then do that. But don't be giving up peaches if you're going to be giving up emotions and feelings. And that's hard for us as women to do. So, in this type of situation, I don't think so. Nobody should be getting any types of cookies until it's over and the connections are disconnected and you can see like what's really tea. Because right here, you can't. And it's all these women sitting over here waiting to be chose by someone, except for Tay. She didn't have to do that. She chose what was easy. Why do you have Deanna up there looking like Storm from X-Men? I would never give her Storm from X-Men. And as much as I think that Deanna is a beautiful woman, I don't know who gave her this wig, but it's giving Chewbacca, if you ask me. It's horrible. It's just stuck to her forehead. Every time she showed up here this whole season, she had her finger waves in. This lady is actually really pretty. But whatever this is right here, it did her no service. And I think sometimes, like, everybody's not a wig girl. You know what I mean? I don't know, like, some people wear the wigs and, it really be doing what it's supposed to do. I want all the blonde, bleach blonde, icy wigs to go away because they all look terrible. Just unless you're making a Beyonce video, I don't see the point. Anyway, Angie and Hussein. Not Wu Chow. So Hussein says that Angie and him are good at one-on-one, but because he's in this confusing triangle with Cam, it gets a little awkward, I guess, when her conversations are had. I don't know why Hussein. You should not worry about Cam. You should only worry about yourself because Cam definitely would not be worried about you. So it shouldn't be awkward. It is what it is. Um, he talks a lot about leading, and Angie asked him a good question, I thought. She said, what does leading look like for you? Now, this is where things got confusing. Now, y'all help me out with this because Hussein said taking care of things. And I'm like, what things? Did we miss things in the conversation? What does that mean, taking care of things? I need more answers. And then Angie is the type of person that does everything herself. So it seems like to me she was filling in the blanks herself because what that was not an answer about what does leading look like to you. He said doing things with intention. And he talks about this every time, Hussein. You know, you're my boy, but you always be saying you intentionally doing things. And I want to know, what are those things? What things are you doing with intention? I need specifics. At this point, shouldn't be no guessing. Well, he says it a lot. I don't know if he knows what it means. I'm sure he knows what it means, but I think Hussein has a very clever way of answering things very nicely and politely, where he's not really saying anything, but he's given enough to make it seem like he is. And I'm a Capricorn. So I need more answers. I have more questions. He said he doesn't want to come home to a woman that feels like she's the man of the house. Please explain that. And I've had that argument within my own household many times. Man of the house, what does that mean? What you want to take care of things and be the man of the house. But what are the things? And what does that mean? That's not, you are the man. You showed up as the man. What else is there that you need? I'm not understanding what that phrase means. So if there's a guy out there that's listening to, this review, please explain in a way that I can understand what that means. Because you came into the house as a man. Period. Hard stop. The relationship now becomes a partnership. One with a man, one with a woman. That's the one you choose. Now, there's all kinds of different, ways to partner up. But over here, we have a man and a woman. So you win that. You're the man of the house. Jeez. He wants to walk into his house full of love. I mean, don't we all? He said he doesn't want what did he say? He don't want to deal with the stuff that he deals with on the outside. So when he comes home, he wants to walk into love. I guess what is she walking into? Does she work? Is she outside? Because I be outside. I work. And when I'm at work, I be dealing with the things. Now, when I come home, there's a man in the house. And so, what does that have to do with leading? The question was, what does leading look like to you? Now we over here dealing with smoke and mirrors and what you deal with on the outside. And so, yeah, please out there, please explain to us what exactly that means. Hussein, we would still like to pose the same exact question to you. What does leading look like? Because I did not find the answer in any of these answers that you gave over here. Now, I'm not like one of the options over here, so you don't have to say nothing. But I mean, I'm asking because I want to. I was left with more questions. Angie, she seemed satisfied with the questions. And like I said, she probably answered her own questions. So, she didn't need him to fill any of the blanks in. And while he was talking, clearly she was distracted by the violins that she hears when she hears his voice. Angie, you better turn off the violins and listen to what the man is really saying. Because it seems like there's some missing parts to the, answers to these questions. Y'all be looking at tall, dark, handsome, and he's got lovely eyes, and his voice just melts me. And y'all better cut that out. That's why everybody going home single. Rose and Cam. Cam is competing for time with, Rose because apparently she's been spending all her time with Hussein. I don't know if she's feeling any violins, but Rose is generally feeling something that's, over the top and extra. Cam wants her to know that he is her best choice. How? How is he the best choice? Because Hussein is over here in the room. They're hanging out, they're having a good time. She's doing a lot of laughing. He don't have a whole lot of options. I mean, he's giving Angie some time, but for the most part, he's had all his time and attention on Rose. That's exactly what the assignment was, to come over here and see how strong your connection is. It seemed like their connection was quite strong, so much so that Cam got in his feelings, and now you think you're losing. How are you losing? You got three options. One of them is, doing something else. Sahara, drop this man. Because at the end of the day, he should have been over there spending time with her. You've been holding Sahara here and fighting down to the vault to keep her here. And then now you have her all to yourself and you want to explore options with, bust a window out your car and miss, I'll bring you shirts as gifts because, that's how I win prizes. I don't know what she be doing. Anyway. I don't know what that means for his other options. He said he wants her, to be his best choice. And, I guess it just made me feel some type of way. Rose said Hussein never made her feel like she was an option. And that's a reason for you, Rose, to not be focused on whatever Cam is saying. You're going to walk away from somebody who's giving you all the attention to somebody who's trying to fit you into his trio? Don't even make sense. And I don't feel like his connection with Angie was stronger than his connection with Rose. So, hey, Karen. She said with Cam, she never knows where she stands. That's, pay attention, girl. Now, she threw me off with this one. Rose said she has a deeper connection to Cam than the other ladies. Where did she get that from? Who told her that? I didn't hear him say that. And Cam says Rose has everything he is looking for. So then why are we still playing games and wasting people's time? Does Cam really like anybody for real? Cam likes Cam. And I feel like Cam likes the idea of wooing them in. You know what I mean? So, because he's the lifesaver. He's the guy that's there to save the life. So I feel like once he feels like he's conquered that, or whether he wants to be bothered with it, then he's bored with it. He talking about Rose is, has everything he wants. So then what are we doing? Now she's connected more with Hussein. So, and to be honest, it's probably her better option. Rose just trying to put herself on a pedestal. I mean, I guess you should put yourself on a pedestal as long as you're not delusional. You don't know what types of conversations that he has been having with these other ladies. So for you to sit up there and say, we have a closer connection, you sound foolish. Only to be spending time with, somebody else. Ciao. This is the part that I'm sure everybody's been waiting for. Tay and Cisco. Cisco gives her a massage. She said no one has ever given her a massage before. Who's she been dating? I thought that was like the trick to get the panties. I thought that was like the end that they try to use to, get a massage. What has she been doing? Her standards are very low. You've never even got a massage from any of the men that you've dealt with in the past, or are you just saying that to try to build this man up? We got to give him something. Taya's up there with her eyes closed because she refuses to see the truth. And then we tired of telling you the truth, girl. Yes, I get the creeps when I see, yes, it's creepy. I don't know, like, it's just so disappointing. You know what I mean? Because when Tay came in here, I feel like every man had her name in their mouth. They all were like, Tay, 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 Tay. And she had such great options only to end up, with this. But hey, who am I? Ooh, just somebody over here watching y'all like a fool. Anyway, Cisco knows that he can reach his goals. Now, this is what he said. I'm quoting Cisco. He knows he can reach his goals with his lady by his side, encouraging him and having his back. And that is his foundation. And I said, oh my God, Cisco is the only one over here not looking to lead anybody anywhere. He's looking for a support system. And seems like he's found it in Tay. I want to know, what is he bringing to the table besides eggplant? Because that's got to be it. Now, if anybody done smashed, I feel like these two have smashed. Because why else would she be so blind to what's right in front of her? And it seems like, all it takes is the bare minimum. I don't get it. I'm trying to see what you said. What you say, Kiwan? Cisco is codependent and Tay is a bird with daddy issues. I didn't call the lady a bird. She did say she has daddy issues, but what kind of daddy issues? Because he's not over here trying to be a daddy. He wants her to be a mama, a sugar mama, one that takes care of him. He wants her to carry all the weight. He's too old for this mindset. I think so. I mean, when you look at him, he's talking about reaching his goals. And I feel like everyone goes through hills and valleys. You find bumps in the road, but it seems like he doesn't have no clear direction what it is he's supposed to be doing. He said, she gonna encourage him. Why? I feel like you encourage your partner, but why you can't get a start until she starts encouraging you? It was so irritating. This was a whole disappointment for me, and I feel like for all of us. I feel like we thought we had higher hopes for Tay. And it's not to keep dogging this man, but he keeps coming over here with nothing. So don't blame us, blame yourself. Back at the ladies' vote, Tay said, when she's with Cisco, she doesn't need or want anything. And I'm like, well, that must have been one heck of a massage. You talk about having babies within the next 2 years. What kind of father would Cisco be? Since he's the man, that can do no wrong in your eyes. You want a baby right now. I'm sure he's willing to, put one in you. That would solidify his spot on the couch. According to Tay, according to him, she needs to be his motivator. She needs to be the foundation of the family. She needs to be the provider. What kind of father is that? She had Khalil right there. And what did she do? Blew it for nothing. I feel like she does that all the time. She came in here talking about, I don't want anybody that cheats. And, he said he's cheated in the past. She got rid. To be honest, even with all them kids, Naeem is a better option than Cisco. Naeem got his own thing. He's entertaining. He's, on this healthy, positive journey. He's a motivator. So she don't have to do all the motivating in the house. It's a tit for tat. You can motivate each other. He's not about to sit on the couch. He gonna go exercise. I'm just saying. She's settling for, I don't know what her mindset is, child. Sahara said, Cam is over there still juggling options. And although he's still an option, he need to make up his mind because she ain't nobody sitting around waiting on him. Yes, Naeem has a whole business. So, and a car and a place to stay. I'm just saying. If this is what you're accepting, as your king with the bare minimum, all you need is a Honda Civic and you already, a level up. I'm just saying, child. Yeah, Sahara said this man Cam needs to make decisions. Sahara, I want you to make the decision. I want you to decide that it's not worth it, that Cam is over here wasting your time. I feel like The more I get to see Sahara, the more I like her because she's not been fake or phony not one single time that she's been here. She's been very direct. Everybody was like, she doesn't she's not polished. She just needs to be more, what did that man Fritz say? Decorum. I don't see her having any less decorum than any of the rest of these ladies. Kiera over here popping off. Rose is hiding her pop off. It's in there. She's pretending to be perfect, and so they were concerned, and they should be. Angie's pop off will have you down to the car dealership getting your windows replaced. So, I don't understand. I don't want her to waste her time. I think just like Khalil, nothing over here for you, girl. You should just go ahead and you deserve better. That's how I feel about it. Angie said she don't know where she's staying with Cam. Out the door. You are out. OUT. Cam is not dealing with you, so don't even worry about it. Rose says she knows Cam a little on a different level than the other ladies. And Sahara was like, what level is that? Like, you don't know nothing about my levels, and don't. And I don't think there's any levels. I think Rose has imaginary levels in her head, and I think Cam is over there thinking, got to keep Rose because, she's the ride or die, and she's going to buy me gifts and things. And Angie might as well keep her just in case, things swing one way or the other. Sahara been my ride or die. I just got to keep on telling her she's the one and she's going to stay around. So he's over there, I feel like, calculating his way to the end. I don't think he's absolutely Cam. Do you know at the end you're supposed to pick a person and go to the bridge? I don't even think he's got to that part yet. He's over here trying to figure out how he can, beat Hussein and, who's the, best box of chocolate, I suppose. I think that's presumptuous, Rose, to think that you have any type of deeper connection with this man than the rest of the ladies. I think he's connected to no one. So, keep telling yourself that. Rose don't have no idea about any level except the one she's standing on. And the one she's standing on supposedly has Hussein on it, girl. She said he confirmed it. I was like, he did not. I didn't hear him confirm it unless he confirmed it like behind the scenes. She said that she has, a deeper connection with him than the other ladies. And he said, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's the answer you give when you really don't want to answer. Cam should be leaving by himself. He don't want nothing over there, child. I don't think he has any idea what that looks like. I think Cam hasn't met that person. I feel like he probably needs to meet that person that makes him open up his heart. And then the next person probably will be the one if he chooses. So anyway, Cam and Rose fundamentally have different ideas about life. So, at some point, she's going to stop pretending to agree with everything that, either one of these men say and start showing her true colors. Tyson up here lying about Khalil's baby timeline. She said, he told me that he's not going to be ready for 5 or 6 years. And I'm like, that's not true. That's not what he said. He said 4 to 5 years, and you said 3 to 4 years. So it sounded like, no, you said 2 to 3. I don't know. It sounded much closer when they said it. You're trying to exaggerate the fact that, you don't want to be with Khalil. It's fine. He's moved on. As for Jay, Kiera is unsure about the connection now because he said he was connected, but he wasn't connected. And I feel like he was more connected. And for whatever reason, that word connection really bothers her. So now she's unsure about her own connection. Sahara said his ass is grass. He had never had an opportunity to play me again. And that's how she should feel. Like, really? Jay is awfully lucky to have these two lovely ladies over here as his options. That's all I can say about that. Jay and Khalil are the bottom two. Khalil doesn't have any more connections, so obviously he's going to have to go. And Kiera, she's keeping Jay around because she doesn't have any other connections, and they have made it up in their mind. I feel like that they're going to ride it on out to the end. So, hey, 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 Motown investor. Motown investor. I would love to know sometimes like what the thought process is behind some of the names that y'all choose. I mean, I'm just Rhonda. That's self-explanatory. Um, Motown investor. Are you from the D? I'm just wondering because that's a Motown thing. Anyway, Jay is over here acting clueless, like he doesn't know what he did wrong. At the end of the day, she decided to keep him. So, I guess we'll see what happens after that. Next week, they're going to meet the family members of these guys. So, I don't know. We'll see how that turns out. Rose is very confident about her levels, but she hasn't bothered to tell. I don't know if she's told Cam because her and Cam is on a different level, but she didn't tell Hussein about the fact that her son's father is incarcerated. Girl, that's something you should have said a long time ago. Like, I don't understand why you would keep that a secret. The boy is 17 years old. So his being incarcerated is part of your story. How did you miss that? And that's going to make him probably feel like, hold up a second. So I've been being over here telling you honestly what I've been through. Hussein has a story and has opened up about, some of the things he's, been through growing up. And you over here holding out on big details. What you say, Motown investor? Kira thinks Jay is employed as a cybersecurity officer. That's how he was introduced in the beginning, but he had an interview and said he was an interior designer. Jay is an interior designer? I thought Hussein was the one that liked interior design. Are you sure? I think you got them mixed up. I know Hussein is an interior designer, and he said, they definitely had his career mixed up that he doesn't, visual manager for Adidas is not what he does. But anyway, they get to meet the people next week. Like I said, I wonder, does Cam already know? That'll be interesting because he doesn't respond to things well. When you pop up information on Cam, he got to go take a walk with his little backpack and get on his feelings and contemplate things. So hopefully she tells him that before she gets in front of the family and friends. Who is it? His nieces that are coming. So yeah. I wonder, like Sahara said, she known to get loud. I guess they all get loud, child. I don't know. That's it. That's the way it ended, y'all. Like the video, subscribe to my channel. It feels like we're getting to the end. Let's get to this reunion and get it on done. Y'all have kept us here since February, only to come over here and find out that none of y'all even like each other. So we stick it here because, I can only speak for myself. Once I'm invested, now I'm, go ahead and follow through. There has been times now with some of these shows where I have dropped them and I don't want to do that anymore. So yeah, y'all like the video, subscribe to my channel. What's today? Today is Monday. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Tuesday, I'll be back with the King's Court. If y'all haven't been watching the Kings, it's getting a little spicy over there. So yeah, and Wednesday, we do Project Runway. In the meantime, I will see you when I see you. Bye, y'all.